What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon, the crypto universe. Today's Wednesday, September 3rd. And yes, I'm making another dog video on my vacation. And why is that? Well, I'm seeing early signals that dog Bitcoin and Bitcoin meme coins are going to experience their very first altcoin season. And what does this mean? This means that dog Bitcoin, since it's the #1 fungible token on Bitcoin as a meme coin, it will definitely be a part of capturing that market share. So when altcoin season begins, the meme coin supercycle will begin, and Bitcoin meme coins will see something that we've never seen before, which is capturing 1% of Bitcoin's market share, which will be absolutely extraordinary. So I want to get into that, also understand why altcoin season triggers and indicators are linking to a bullish Q4 2025. Then I want to share with you who's been accumulating dog, and also we just won the CoinMarketCap Boost Me CMC contest, and how that's allowed dog to be at the forefront of CoinMarketCap's millions of viewers and traffic. Then we're going to look into charting and analysis, because you need to understand that what I'm seeing in terms of the patterns is sharing with me early signals that dog is going to become the top dog meme coin this cycle. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X, and please be careful with the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Okay, so right now, dog Bitcoin is at a 230 million market cap, has been trading sideways up and down for quite some time. Don't worry, I'll look into charting analysis in a little bit. Let's look at Bitcoin's price first. Bitcoin is at 112,000. Not too long ago, we used to be at 124,000 US dollars, and that was a new all-time high. Dipped as low with this whole manipulation by Binance, Wintermute, and also OG whales dumping their Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. We dipped as low as 108,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. Obviously, that affected every other altcoin and meme coins. Now, if you look at meme coins, actually most of the meme coins are in green right now, as you see over the past 24 hours. That's a really good sign. But again, we'll see how long this lasts. When we look over at the perpetual trades for dog Bitcoin, have you noticed that there aren't really that many long or short liquidations? Well, what does that mean? That means that these retail traders don't exactly know what to do. In fact, they're not sure if they're actually going to be shorting or longing. And the reason I want to share this with you is because in the charting analysis, I want to share with you waning selling pressure and what that could actually mean for the dog price in this next leg up. Now let's talk about altcoin season. Altcoin season is at ranking number 63, which is right over here. Now that's pretty high, considering that we used to see it back over here back in November and right over here back in December of 2023. There's a huge gap in between both of those. But remember, we've been in a bear market for altcoins for 4.5 years. And in fact, over those 4.5 years, Bitcoin dominance has only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, pretty much outweighing altcoins. But now, after 4.5 years, we could be seeing the very first time altcoin season coming back. Now, what could trigger that? Well, it could be the September 17th Fed rate cut, which is a 25 basis point rate cut, or maybe, who knows, maybe it's a 50 basis point rate cut, which is an absolute white swan event. Look at where the ranking of this is 95% in favor of the 25% basis rate cut on CME Watch Tool. Look at Polymarket. Polymarket has actually increased to 86%. All that shares with me that we're heading into altcoin season, because once the money printer starts turning on from all the Fed rate cuts, then that means altcoins will boom. But before we get into more news, we got to congratulate you, the dog army, for winning the CoinMarketCap Boost Me CMC contest. And all of you had absolutely posted every single day, and we absolutely won. Now, two of the posts that ended up getting the most engagement, believe it or not, was the first one, which was CryptoSaiyan's music video that had the Boost Me CMC logo in there, and also the petition that we sent and posted not too long ago when this competition first started. And CoinMarketCap here pretty much explains why the dog army won. And they've been steady since day one. Every post felt like effort, not filler. They even submitted a petition. That level of creativity deserves a boost. And what is that petition? Well, it was absolutely this one that we created on August 26th, which I shared on my Twitter page. Obviously, David Solomon, who is basically the CPO over CoinMarketCap, pointed this out. And this was one of the reasons why it's important that we create these petitions. This had over 48,000 impressions, 1,000 likes, 606 reposts, 279 comments. This is why we make sure that you participate in these petitions. And look what that has done. It's allowed Dog under the trending tab on CoinMarketCap to be one of the top coins at the forefront of being watched by all of cryptocurrency and human traffic clicks. Now, if you think about it, in order to have your coin boosted, we actually had this done for free because we won the contest. Well, if you compare it to this kind of pricing of Dog, guess what? If you wanted to 600x that post, just to 600 boost it, it costs roughly $4,000 US just to have 600x. We just got a 3,000x for this post, so that's absolutely great free marketing, and why you, the Dog Army, shows up every single day. And it doesn't just stop there, because we have another petition that I want you to participate in, and that is getting KuCoin to list Dog for spot trading. As you know, KuCoin is doing this little campaign that if you do a certain amount of US dollar trades on KuCoin futures, that people will possibly get airdropped some Dog tokens. But we don't want that. We want KuCoin to list Dog for spot trading. KuCoin futures for Dog has been around for a little too long, so it's about time that we have Dog spot trading on KuCoin. So if you can, find the specific post on my X page, make sure to like, retweet, repost, or aka comment within this specific petition, and get the eyes and ears of KuCoin to list off for spot trading, and let's make this heard. Now let's go into some other news. Now we already know Dan from Crypto Capital Ventures. Now he already mentioned in a previous post that he has Dog as a second top altcoin hold. And some people, in the comments, especially with smaller numbers, these could be bots or smaller accounts saying, why would you pitch something when things are going down? These people are using that negativity and market volatility as an engagement tool to garner more followers, to garner more interest into their own Twitter account. So don't pay attention to them. But the most important thing I want you to know about this is that Dan, myself, and many other whales and other experienced traders see these early signals within Dog, because we know the upside. I mean, just look at C2 blockchain. They acquired roughly around 21 million tokens as of yesterday, expanding their treasury of Dog to 343 million to 364 million Dog tokens. That's in their treasury. When you start to understand why these institutions and professional traders are accumulating, it's because they know the fundamentals within Dog. Now, if you look on the Onchain data on CoinStats, this is their actual portfolio in case you want to see their transactions. If you go over to transactions, it'll share with you the date and also how much was transferred from their purchase wallet over to their treasury wallet. And another person who's actually buying these dips is somebody like Serge Satz, who, by the way, is part of Bitcoin Art Society, who is not accumulating not just Dog, but also accumulating Bitcoin Ordinals. Now, back on July 6th of 2025, you saw that he deployed roughly around 2 Bitcoins worth into Dog at a 450 million market cap, and even is deploying as of August 29th, deploying more capital into Dog. And what's really interesting is that JDog replied to them saying, will Bitcoin Art Society capture more than 0.5% of the Dog supply, surpassing C2 blockchain? Is that the target goal? And guess what? Serge Satz said probably, but guess who replied to him right below? It was C2 blockchain. Let the competition begin. So you see big companies like C2 blockchain and Serge Satz accumulating Dog on these dips regardless of the volatility, because they know eventually when the bull market does come, Bitcoin meme coins are going to blossom. And here's another thing that was reported by BitMEX as of this morning. So apparently there are still whales accumulating every now and then. What we already know is that wallet number 1 and 2 are mainly centralized exchanges accumulating on behalf of their customers. But look at wallet number 45, 11, 5, 3, and 4. I mean, these potentially could be whale wallets accumulating more Dog in their portfolio. When you look at Crypto Capital Ventures AI tool, this is allowing you to understand that right now, this is a very, very moderate buy, that this is the time to be dollar cost averaging getting exposure. Now, when I look into that specific price, look at this red box. Now, what I want you to notice that every single time we're in this red box, we see a bounce off of a 200 million support level. Now, the only time we broke past that pretty much support level was right over here on March 2nd of 2025. And when we did dip below that, we reached an all-time low of around 100 million market cap. That was only once. Notice that every single time we get close to around a 200 million market cap, like say for instance right over here in May of 2024, we saw that the Dog price ended up skyrocketing. Then we saw another support level here around August 6th of 2024. We did pump, we did dump, but we hit that support level again, only to pump one more time to a new all-time high at around 999 million market cap. What do you think think is going to happen right over here? Almost the exact same thing, considering that we are forming a falling wedge. And a falling wedge, as we mentioned in a previous video, is a bullish pattern because you're hitting higher lows and lower lows, but they go within this channel and eventually there's a breakout. And as you can tell, just based on the selling pressure, I mean, I want you to focus on this really closely. And the reason we want to focus on this is because look at that waning selling pressure. It's very weak compared to the previous selling pressures that we saw here and here. This is very weak. It's because these leverage traders don't exactly know what to do. They're trying to find out what the next white swan event is. But let's not even pay attention to that. Look at the RSI. Now, what are we paying attention to the RSI? We're looking at the green lines and also the red lines. Now look at the green lines. Every time we see a green line event that happens within the RSI, the dog price goes up right over here. And then we see another green line right here. Guess what happened to the dog price? From this point all the way up to this point, we saw that the dog price ended up skyrocketing upwards. Then we saw another green line right over here where the dog price went from that all-time low at 100 million, went as high as around close to 560 million. But notice that every time we see these red lines, there is a downtrend. And notice every single time that we actually have these red lines, they actually are very elongated, meaning that they're long bear markets. In fact, the bull markets that we have for dogs, these parabol events, are actually quite short, roughly within a month or 2 to even 3 months. So what do you think is going to happen now that we see the length of this red line almost matching the same length at these previous 2 red lines? Eventually it's going to end, and eventually we have to hop into the buyer's market. And once we get into that green line trend line, you'll see that the MACD, the seller's market, the blue and orange line, is going to get out of the seller's market, hop into the buyer's market past this resistance line, and it could happen anytime around, before, or after the Fed rate cut on September 17th of the 25 basis points. This is all just forming, to me, a falling wedge pattern. This is why it's so important to follow these indicators. These are the early signals. Even when you pay attention to where Bitcoin meme coins are going to experience their first ever Bitcoin meme coin supercycle in the first altcoin season that they've ever experienced. This is actually perfect timing for Bitcoin meme coins. Not just Bitcoin meme coins, but also Ethereum meme coins, Solana meme coins. But just look at where the upside for Bitcoin meme coins are, because look at the market share that they're going to capture with Bitcoin. This is why only 99% of people will fail to miss this pump, and only 1% will actually catch it at the right time. I mean, just think about it. Look at all the different dog themed meme coins. Dog is the only coin on Bitcoin. Every other specific dog coin is on Ethereum or Solana. So obviously dog has more upside, and it's not too hard to believe that dog will be right behind Dogecoin. Yes, I'm saying it to you right now. It will be in the multi-billions of dollars, while people are just so scared to buy at 237 million. But this doesn't just happen with meme coins. It's with altcoins, NFTs. Nobody likes buying the dip because they want certainty, and that's usually how retail traders fail, because they use their emotional indicators. I mean, just look at this. Dog right now has this narrative as dog is dead, just like Doge is dead, Bonk, Floki is dead, and also Sheep, Dog with Hat is dead. And every single time that they fall for that narrative, even after there's a capitulation of it, after every single time, there's always that massive pump that follows. So Dog is next in line for it to have its first Bitcoin meme coin and meme coin supercycle bull run. So I'm telling you right now, this is the time to be very bullish on Bitcoin meme coins, especially Dog. You have seen why altcoin season is just around the corner. The major upsides of why Dog can get into the multi-billions of dollars, and it will get there. I'm not here to report on Dog with an if, it's a when. The when is going to happen very soon. Q4 is just right around the corner. It could start maybe even earlier in September when the Fed rate cut does happen. But October, November, December could be that gap, could be that time where Dog is going to pump, be euphoric, people are going to FOMO, it's going to be absolutely crazy. That's just my personal opinion. But I really wanted to share this video with you because it just is so important to just stay updated and just follow the data. When you focus on price and focus on market cap, you're ignoring the upside potential with anything that you're invested in. So focus on the community. You see that the community has won the CMC contest with Boost Me. Now you can see what's going to happen when we sign petitions for KuCoin and other tier 1 centralized exchange listings, looking at Kraken Exchange and looking at the volume there. It's all happening right now as we speak. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I cannot wait to read them. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog and the Moon. Till then, see you guys and girls next time.